So, prime example, like this is a bad thing to say. I've been kicked out of class before. I was very interested in Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm. Okay, please. One time, I had to turn in a story to we had to write an essay, right? It was a fiction. It was like for an English class. I write a fiction piece of work and turn it in, right? You want to make sure your grammar was right, all this bullshit, whatever. So I literally grabbed a history book because I had to name my character, and I just grabbed the history book, opened it, and I saw the first name that this is dead on what I did. I was like, I can't fucking name this guy. I didn't want to think about it too much. I don't give a fuck. I just opened it. Boom. Who's the name? Adolf. I didn't know that was Hitler's first name. I had no idea. This is like in like fourth or I don't know what grade I was in. It was like young. I didn't know. I just know. If it said Hitler, I would have known. Yeah. It just said Adolf, and I'm like Adolf, and I started writing it, and then thank God I gave my dad the to proofread it because you're supposed to. They kept telling you make sure your parents proofread it, blah 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 blah, and I gave it to him. He's like, maybe we choose a different name because that's Hitler. Yeah. And then I'm like, what? I just picked Adolf. It's Adolf Hitler. I was like, oh. I was like, all right, well then we changed it. But I almost would have turned that bitch in. Yeah. And because he was like a nice guy, it's Adolf. Yes. Do it, whatever.
You changed it. I mean, so, and based off what you just said.
No, go ahead what you were saying.
Yeah, so Adolf, however you want to say. I was born in Germany.
Were you?
Yeah, military brat. Born in Germany, Frankfurt.
That's your boy then, my boy. Yeah. That's your boy.
And so what is one thing you can say about me? I love for people to like me. No matter how they like me, I just wanted them to like me. So, and I've never shared this part of it. Actually, I think about it. Adolf Hitler, I don't believe in what he led for. What he led for was...
Now let's cut to the part where you believe in. Let's cut to that because that's coming.
I couldn't fathom at that young age how he can get people that look nothing like him to kill people that look like him.
What do you mean they look nothing like him? Because they're all Germans, though.
Brown. He was brown hair.
Yeah, but they were Germans, though.
And Germans, right? So here's how I looked at it. So Adolf Hitler, one man led a nation to kill Jewish people who look like him. If they had brown hair and brown eyes, you killed them. I don't
think he looked Jewish at all.
Yeah, he was brown hair, brown eyes.
But he didn't look Jewish.
I don't know, but I'm young at this time.
Okay, all right. Let's go with that mindset. Let's go with that mindset. I see what you're saying. At a time.
If you didn't have blonde hair, blue eyes, it's essentially what it was. Okay. Right. And so I was like, they had a little like speech thing, and you had to write about your favorite leader.
Go on.
I chose Adolf Hitler.
Oh my God! What year?
What year was this? I think I was like 4th or 5th grade.
And what was the? Oh, this is beautiful. This is fucking.
Don't do me like this.
No, this is gold. You were in 4th or 5th grade. Choose your favorite leader, and everybody's like, it's Malcolm X. It's George W. Bush. It's fucking what's that guy? Martin Luther King. Yeah. It's fucking Adolf, the black guy. Adolf Hitler. Like, whoa!
It probably did not look good, but
what was your
me? The way I looked at it is
that
is like, yo, and now I understand more now.
Yeah, I get that. That's not where your mindset was, but like, yeah,
he got everybody to. One guy.
The fact that he was able to mobilize that kind of crazy.
It makes me who I am. There's people who are out here. I know for a fact.
But the question wasn't This is probably where you look. What question wasn't who you think is one of the most successful leaders.
And that wasn't the question.
The question was your favorite.
Yes. And that's where it gets controversial. Me, I said
Adolf Hitler.
He's so influential to a person like me. There's 2 types of people. There's lions and there's sheeps. I know for a fact you can't walk in this room and make me believe something like that. Because I'm not that type of person. Just like, prime example, if I see you picking on somebody for no good reason, you're just picking on them because, lack of better words, they're in the LGBTQ community. I'm probably like, yo, you're being a dick. I'm not just going to go with it. And that was crazy to me. And this is before all this stuff of me having the knowledge of all this stuff. I just was like, bro, like, why were people listening to him do that? He must have been a really cool person and thinking so elementary, like. And I was like,
that's
he must
fucking hilarious.
Like, and so I remember getting pulled to the side.
Oh, you bet.
But
did you do that in front of the class, or was it like a written thing that you gave up?
It was written, but you had to say your leader.
That's what I'm.
And
so
you
had to say the leader.
Yeah,
and here you go.
Yeah, and I was like,
he was like Adolf Hitler.
Like, I felt so like, and still to this day, I would say like, bro, that's crazy. And so like me, I know for a fact my kid, the woman I plan to marry, all that, I am big on, yo, you form your own opinion. See, you can give me an opinion about somebody, but that opinion don't affect how I treat that person.
And I think that's great.
Person. You know what I mean?
That's great, because that's, because some people have their own opinions based on some shit that you might not agree with.
Yeah.
And just because they don't like them.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that person. And that's what I learned from that. And that's what I found crazy. I'm not going to say crazy. That's what I found fascinating.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? That's, and I was like, because I loved.
Where you at now, though?
I would still say I found it fascinating that he was able to do that, but it terrifies me.
Do you know what's your reason? How do you think he got that kind of influence?
And that's what. So to me, I would say back then they don't have the knowledge that we do now. So one person walking in that can articulate and say things a certain way that no one's ever heard. Maybe that's how it happened, because he was an intelligent person.
Obviously, yeah.
But it's just. To me, that scares the shit out of me. Because you see, like, prime example, even 4 years ago, COVID. We have one side of the world thinking it's right-wing and it's a setup by the government and da-da-da. And they spread that. And then there's one side that's like, yo, it helps and da-da-da. And when we can look at facts, but there's so much propaganda out there, we can't look directly at facts without doing research.
Yeah. You know, without being like ostracized because it's a political thing, and all of a sudden, oh, you one of those guys? Like, look, we're just looking at where the fucking facts. Can we ask that?
Just like, I find it crazy that like anytime any type of voting for president comes up, the first one that stuck out to me was Mitt Romney. No, I can even go back to Barack and McCain, I think was his name.
Was John McCain running against Barack? Yeah.
They ran when Barack won for the first time. What does racism why does racism got to come into it? Even with the Mitt Romney,
why? Because I
will ask that simple question because
obviously, look, for people like us, no. Right? Yeah. But for people who are trying to make narratives and they're, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna use a race card for Barack because it's strategy, and then there is racism. Because I remember when he did get elected, I was like, all right. So I used to listen to right wing radio every now and again when I was doing my drives, like from back home, because it was the most entertaining. It is the most entertaining. But I remember them like saying, I remember people being like, we're gonna drown, like I don't care what happens, we're gonna get him out of there, and I'm just like
what?
Why? Why? He's the president. Like, all right. Like, I never heard that from anybody else before. Like, why you guys so want to get him out of there?
Yeah.
And then again, the counter to what I was thinking is maybe I was just at the age to listen because I didn't give a fuck before. Yeah. And then I started to pay attention at that time, and so maybe they always said that. You know what I mean?
I think
maybe that's always the thing. But when I heard it, it sounded a little racist at the time, but maybe it's always been a thing.
It has, but it stuck out to me when we lived together, and it was when Hillary Clinton was running.
Trump,
yeah.
Trump or Hillary, or
like when they were running against each other, and something I did not, and I can never say I agreed with, and all this stuff, and I can date it back when Hillary Clinton did her. I don't know, like when you get defeated speech or whatever it might be called.
Defeated speech.
I don't know, because you get acceptance speech. Defeated speech. She said, I was the women's champion, and I'm sorry, women, I didn't win it. essentially. Like, no, bitch. Excuse my language. No, woman. We asked you to run for all of us. That's like, to me, if Barack stood up and said, I was the black people's champion. And no, I didn't. No, Hillary, we saw you being the first woman to be president. So to me, I look at like things like, nah, man, why do I want to be liked by everyone? I don't care what your race, color, all that stuff is. But then we're doing all this scheming and things to become president.
It's gross.
It turns me completely off from the subject. So I've never been big into government because of that. Because that's crazy to me. And so like, then I think back to Adolf Hitler. And I'm like, what did he do to get where he was? Yeah. You gotta think this.
Well, let me tell. Can I give you some insights?
Please do, because I don't know much about government.
So, I might be wrong here on a couple of things, but my general thing is gonna be correct. Anyway, you can't think about Adolf Hitler's rise without understanding the context of the First World War. So let's put it simply, Germany's blamed for the First World War, right? Us for starting it and all that. Yeah. That could be debatable. But anyway, at the end of the First World War, they get a bunch of sanctions and a bunch of shit that makes the people's way of living shit. Then Adolf Hitler also was a soldier there. And the things he saw, and he did not agree with I think he didn't agree with the surrender or the way they went about it. And then the people, the general mass, for years were under a whole different stress of food and things like that, and cost of living and the way they were living. It got to shit. So everyone's pissed off and not happy. Then he is going in and hearing different meanings. He finds a socialist movement. I think the Nazi Party, I don't know if they were called the Nazis at the time, but it was a socialist movement. He's in there in one of the meetings, and he kind of starts speaking. He was listening over a while and starts speaking up. He hates socialism, by the way. Yeah. So the Nazi Socialist Party is just on name because he did not believe in it at all. He hated it. But what motivated people, and it didn't start out fuck the Jews, blah, blah, blah. It didn't start like that. It was just about look, we're going to take our shit back. We're going to stop letting these countries tell us what we can't do, whatever. And you got people who are starving and hungry and living a way less life than they were living. So that's motivating them. Yeah, fuck them. We all right, yeah, the World War I, we didn't start it. We didn't, whatever. We had to get into this. They have their own perspective, right? Yeah. Because the First World War is not, the Second World War is very clear. Yeah. Germany guys fucked up. Yeah. Right? First World War, not so much. It's more of a web of alliances and what happened. Yeah. It started